welcome to the Draway. Yes, it's Monday. The markets are going to be bouncing all over the place, and we have a ton of stuff we got to talk about. So stay right there. I'm glad you're here. Hit the subscribe button for the Draway, but let's get started. It's a big day. Let's get going. Let's go. You know, a good time to talk about the economy and stocks and all that type of stuff. A good time to talk about it is when it's going down, when it's on sale. When you're reaching new highs, I never find talking about the stock market or the economy and stuff interesting because I don't see the opportunity. It's hard to look for opportunity and to make money in a market that is just skyrocketing. But when a market is falling, when things look like they're going on discount, then it's time to start looking for value. But what I want to talk about today is China's kind of cool. I don't know if you've been following Speed on his YouTube channel, but Speed is over in China right now, rocking things, and he's helping Americans see there's nothing wrong with China. China's pretty damn cool. And whether you're talking about the flying cars, now they have a factory the size of San Francisco, BYD, that's putting out spectacular cars. Cars that make Tesla look like they're 10 years behind. But it's just not that. It's the infrastructure. And it's the people. The people are always so kind, so nice. It doesn't matter who I meet and where I meet them. If they're from China, they are respectful, they are kind, and they are very, very nice every single time. And I bring this up because America has gotten fat and lazy. America's gotten fat and lazy because we just live under this notion that we're number one, but we don't even treat our people like they're number 10, number 20. You go around the world and you start to realize it's a collection of people and government getting together to benefit everyone. And that's not America. It's not America now. I mean, in the 60s and 70s, I grew up in a different America. For those of you that aren't at least 50, 60 years old, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But for those of you that are 50 and 60 plus years old, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And in this America, it's not the same, is it? It's not the same as it was in the 60s and 70s when we took care of each other. I don't feel that now. What I feel is, all we want to do is take care of all these billionaires. Billionaires, like that should be a thing. And it's not just, hey, he's worth $1 billion. Nah, we got people worth 10, 20, 50, $100 billion. And we've been trained to think that's okay. Yeah, that's a thing. There should be somebody with $100 billion. Sorry, but to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. $100 billion, and you got people living in the streets, and you got people living in squalor, and you got people just trying to survive. Yeah, and we haven't figured out a way yet to go, okay, well, if you're going to have all this money, this huge, massive stack of money, we need to start taking some of that money and helping out everyone as a whole. For some reason, that's seen as evil. And as I get older, I don't see it as evil whatsoever. When you have such a massive surplus, for you not to willingly share it, that to me seems evil. I'm not talking about those worth $5 or $10 million. Yeah, you're well off. but I'm talking about really rich. I'm talking about those people with multiple billions and billions of dollars, like the Walmart family. Each one of those kids is worth over $100 billion. Can't do anything with it. What are you going to do? You just have this huge surplus. How about now you stop and start giving Walmart workers a real paycheck, so that they don't have to get welfare, so that they don't have to get food stamps? How about you start paying them real money? Can't do that. It'll hurt the stock. Because that's all we care about anymore is where the stock price is. What's the stock price? What's the stock worth? And it seems like China's figured out a different way. And now we're kind of we're as Americans, do you understand we're kind of handing things over to China? Because, we put a complete knucklehead in the White House. And now he is destroying our relationships around the world. So people go, okay, America isn't friendly to work with anymore. Who can we work with? And China's like, hey, we'd love to work with you. You look very nice today. And so people are going to increasingly work with China and Mexico. I mean, here Mexico is such an important friend to us. And instead of being friendly with Mexico, and because Mexico, you talk about a place that's going to take off over the next 30, 40 years, Mexico is going to be just boom. And instead of nurturing that relationship and moving that along and doing that with Canada and combining our strength to take on the world, no, we're punishing our friends and we're leaving the world's economy to be led by China. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And the damage that's being done right now, right today, you're talking about years and years to repair, if ever, because China just runs smarter. China is being smarter. China is looking at the long game and building and solidifying those relationships. America now just seems like a bully. That's all. And who wants to do business with a bully? Nobody. We all know what bullies are about, and that's what America seems like today. But that's what happens when you have an uneducated bully in the White House. And that's all he is an uneducated bully. And he thinks he can order people around because he has the authority of the presidency and the power of the presidency. But when you put a small man in that office, he just seems small. Even Donald Trump can't be built up by the office. I don't think that the office that he's built up the office of presidency at all. I don't look at him as anything to be admired. Whereas when I saw Obama in the White House, you could see how people admired him. I don't see anyone admiring Donald Trump. And I certainly don't see anyone admiring what the United States is doing to our so-called friends around the world and letting China step in. But make no mistake, China is not our enemy. China is nothing but well-mannered, really good people that I don't have a single thing against. Not one thing. So the government can try to tell me that China's the boogeyman. I'm not buying it anymore. And neither should you. Welcome to the Draway. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 100,000 and I need your help. Don't go anywhere. More Draway to come. Well, the stock market's going to go crazy today. Up, down, up. Who knows? It's going to be a crazy week. It's going to get worse if we keep on this tariff thing. If we're still into these tariffs by the end of the weekend, it's going to be really ugly next week. But just know this. There's a couple of stocks that I would stay away from. I would stay away from Starbucks. Starbucks, I wouldn't want to have any part of, and nor would I want any part of Tesla. I would stay away from Tesla as well. And I'd stay away from Starbucks because as the economy gets tougher, do you think a lot of people are going to stand in line for $7 coffee, $8 coffee? I think a lot of people will be like, you know what, I'll just make my coffee at home. Instead of paying $7, $8, I'll pay $1. or 50 cents. Even if it's a buck, that's a heck lot cheaper. You can make your own coffee for 30 bucks for the month instead of paying several $100s. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to own Starbucks right now. But some stocks that I think are worth looking at, like I said, I like looking at Win. I like Amazon on the way down. I like Microsoft on the way down. There are key companies. I keep talking about this. Key companies in each one of their sectors. Watching Nvidia go down. Yeah, if I can get Nvidia on sale, if I can get Nike on sale. I mean, Nike is close to being in the 40s. The last I checked, I think it was 53 or 52. Can you imagine getting Nike in the 40s? Yeah. I have a hard time believing that's going to be a bad choice 5 years from now. But that's what I would be doing right now. And that's why I like, and I know you guys want me to talk more about the stock market. And I typically didn't, because the market was just going up, 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 up at levels I didn't think I was even comfortable with. So when Donald Trump became president, as you know on this show, I said, yeah, I got rid of all my oil stocks. The minute Donald Trump became president, I'm like, I've seen this show before. He is going to crash the oil market. He's going to crash oil stocks. I'm out of here. And there will be an opportunity to buy oil stocks here in the next couple of years, because when Donald Trump is all said and done, and oil companies are in big trouble because of what Donald Trump has done, there will be a buying opportunity, believe me. So, but like I was trying to say, it's tough to talk about stocks when they're going up. But when they're going down, I absolutely love talking about stocks, because that was always my favorite time, because I always felt I made money in the stock market based on what I bought it for. In other words, when I buy something at a value, I know I'm going to make money. The thought, like I said, of buying Nike at 40 some dollars a share, 5 years from now, you got to know Nike's going to probably be in the 90s or over $100 a share. And I can afford to wait. I can afford to wait 5 years. So if you got a 5, 7, 10-year plan, just be active with the market in the next few weeks, because there are going to be buying opportunities on the way down. And if Trump keeps tariffs more than a few weeks, there's going to be a lot of opportunity, because things are going to go bad very, very quickly, because I don't think anybody realizes just how bad tariffs are and how damaging. But the longer this goes on, the more damage that will be done. So we'll be talking about stocks a lot, I promise. If you have any individual questions you want me to answer about it, like I said, I was a Series 7 stockbroker back in the 80s and 90s. And I love talking about stocks. So if you have questions, just put them there in the comments. Don't go anywhere. I have a final thought here on the Draway. My health update. I like talking about this because I like talking about my journey walking. And I'm now starting to really get into it. And as the weather warms, I enjoy it more and more and more. But if you haven't started a walking program, if you haven't done it yet, I implore you. If some of you are going to go like, here he goes again. But I'm telling you, if you want to change your life, if you want to feel so much better, and if you just want to accomplish better health, better fitness, it literally only takes about an hour a day, 45 minutes a day. At least try to get a 45-minute walk in every single day. And you will not believe the difference it makes in your life. And the great thing about doing the walking is it also prepares you for, wanting to do a little more, wanting to eat a better diet with higher protein and less, less garbage, less, just piling up on a bunch of sugary carbohydrates. You start to focus on vegetables, fruits, and protein. Those start to become the things that you think about. And as you're doing your walking program and you're starting to eat better, I cannot tell you the difference in when you wake up. When you wake up, it's just a different experience. It's just, you feel so much better. And I'm taking NMN from Ulu RX. I usually have a link at the end. Ulu RX is ulurx.com. I take the NMN in the morning and at night, and it gives me the energy I need to do the walking, and it lifts me up. I feel so much better. And I keep talking about it because I want you guys to feel the same thing. I want to hear about your guys' walking program. I want to hear that you guys started walking too. I hope I'm a good enough salesman to convince you that walking, even if you start off with just 15, 20 minutes, wherever you start off, you'll be amazed at after just a few days, you're like, I can go a little further. And then I can go a little further. And it's something that you control, and you can be proud of yourself because you set little goals for yourself. And as you set little goals for yourself and you reach those goals, because for me, I sit there and I go, I bet you I can walk to that point and back. And then when I do it a couple of times, I'm like, I bet I can walk to that point and back. And after you've done that a couple of times, you're like, what can I do next? And it just gives you an overall feeling that I want you guys to be able to feel it too. And if you've started your walking program, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't yet, come on. Summer's almost here, and we want to feel great for summer. And I want you to feel great for summer because I want you around as long as I am. But that's the Draway for the day. Thanks for joining me as usual. Don't forget, there's a new Draway each and every day. And don't forget to get out there and walk. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow right here on the Draway.